Hello and welcome to this video. It's going to last about 20 minutes. It's a truck spotting video. It's a quick walk, it's a rant, it's a vlog. I'm not doing a live just now because the other phone is in the house, otherwise I would be doing a live. I'm using this phone which isn't connected to the internet. So that's going to take about 20 minutes, half an hour at most. Just to go over stuff. Human behaviour really, I suppose, is what the thing's about, and how to deal with bad human behaviour. So yesterday I had 2 examples of bad human behaviour. Throughout the whole day, it was a very busy day. So I'm a bit sort of late today. So I didn't actually get my tea about 9 o'clock last night. I was doing a car boot sale, then I went to Knock Hill, which is wonderful, filming the cars, classic cars and racing cars, and brilliant. So the videos has all become there's a bit too much going on, but the reason I'm doing this one now is because for exercise. And to see if we see any trucks. Yesterday, so usually, those of you who follow me quite a lot, I struggle to deal with people at times, and it takes me a while to go over behaviour so I'm trying to, I suppose, quantify the behaviour or deal with it. A lot of people, we're all different, aren't we? So we all deal with things differently. I try to manage my life that I can have a path in front of me which is clear and equitable. So that's what annoys me, is when equilibrium is compromised. So that would be, so obviously I've got my own ways of dealing with people and situations, and I exercise equilibrium. So that means following some kind of rules. Rules of engagement. So forgive me, but I'll just go rabbit on about this, and it might be helpful, it might be useful. So really, in war, there's what was it called again? I forgot. Human rights. There's agreements made. To in war, how you treat prisoners and stuff and things like that. So in life, there should be. Well, there is with me, so I'm talking about my rules, but there's also rules in law, because we are, well, we're free, but we have restrictions on us and what we can and can't do. So yesterday, it was just 2 women actually. It's not necessarily always going to be a woman, but often it is. And the rules of engagement with men and women are different. So you can get really ignorant men, of course you can, yeah. Women, it all depends what you're dealing with. Is it a male dominated domain, or is it a female domain? So the car boot sales are mixed, aren't they? It's not male dominated, it's not female dominated, but you can go down into subsections, business practice, so on and so forth. So yesterday, there's a woman who lives 3 doors from my friend, and this is it, right? So this is linked in with, hold on, I'm going to put you down while I do my lace. I've always wanted to go in the burn, somehow, either with waders or a canoe or something. I thought it'd be really cool. It'd be a different video, wouldn't it? To actually see the world differently is what I'm aiming at. Because if you're sort of wading along it, like in the summer, or when, well, not necessarily summer, but when it's dry, it's not that deep. you know, you could probably waders, you know, I want a set of waders. Look into that, or maybe, I mean, obviously, I've got a canoe sort of thing, an inflatable, but it looks too low for that, as far as I can see. So this woman, she overstepped my negotiables and non-negotiables. This is the first woman we're talking about today. She identified something that I was selling, and identified that she'd recognised it from last week, where it was a different price. It was from somebody else. So she worked out, I suppose she worked out where I bought it from. And she also, the two of them identified. See, I bought this paint, tins of paint, and they were £1 each. And I thought, that's a good deal. I'll buy them and I'll take them to the car show. So I'll put them in the van. And of course, well, I thought I'll put 6 of them out, and I might sell 6. So I put them out, and then this woman found them, and she'd also looked in the van. This is where she overstepped the mark. And there's a lot of people do this. There's a certain demographic. I'm not going to be racist, but there is some cultures in Asia that don't really have boundaries, and they'll actually go in your van. They'll go around the back. Africans do that as well. They'll go around the back of your table. So basically, you know, you sit up. So I'm the seller, you're the buyer. You go to that side of the table, I'll go to this side. So the van is out of bounds, you know, or a truck or a car or whatever it is you're using. So that is quite well spotted. So this woman is intelligent, yeah, but she's been damaged, as far as I can tell. Well, her. Now this same woman, this is interesting. She was hanging about with Tommy Robinson, and this is really interesting. So let's try and turn this into a positive. I don't care if she watches this or not, because I'm actually very unhappy with her and her behaviour. But she was hanging around with Tommy Robinson for several years. So she was married to the guy, or I don't know if she was married, but she was with the guy that was with Tommy Robinson in the British, what do you call it, BNP or something? Was it Carol? I forget his name. His last name's Carol. So she's away from him, and she's landed up here in Scotland, and I bumped into her in a field. You know, and it does make you think about it. It makes you think about Tommy Robinson and how he's fucked his life up, because he has fucked his life up. You got to meet Jordan Peterson, but look at him. He's in jail. He doesn't have any money. He's fucked. His wife's left him. His kids are, you know, he's done his best for his kids, but doing your best for your kids would be avoiding taking on fucking Islam. Would be a good idea. Oh, that's interesting. That's twice I've mentioned that. Anyway, she got the better of me, and I knew it, and it was partly because she lives 3 doors down from my friend. So it was a sort of polite kind of social scenario. So what I'm going to do with the paint, I'm going to not take it next week, because I think she'll be back. So is it a control thing? Is she trying to control me, or does she really want that paint? Well, no. Yeah, it's not that she doesn't want the paint. She just didn't want to pay what I was asking for it. So that's really so there's the tactics involved. But so as far as I'm concerned, what I do with somebody like that is I was back off from them, you know. So, but I was already getting warning signs with her anyway, right? So this woman hung about with Tommy Robinson for a good number of years, and it shows, because she's fucked up, but I'm fucked up as well. But I'm sort of not being dishonest about it, am I? So the behaviour from her is more, it's the sort of thing I would expect, you know, from a different culture. Now she was living in Luton, so she's brought that kind of horrible dealing or buying mindset up to Scotland. And so the problem for me is I don't like being bullied, and I tend not to let people away with bad behaviour. So the problem is I haven't dealt with it properly. So that's why it's floating around my head at the moment, right? And all things considered, now I get this every Monday morning. There's always someone. So it's dealing with my own past, my own abuse when I was young, and coping and dealing with everything and people and their tactics. So I capitulated to her. The pain, I mean, and it was all, so whose fault was it? Was it mine for putting it out? You know, I mean, sometimes when you buy off other sellers at markets and car boots, it's a good idea not to resell the stuff right there and then. So is that the problem? Is that something I can learn from this? And then you go, well, you should, you know, you can sell it if you want as a hearse. You know, is that the problem? I think it could be. It could be that it opened the door for a narcissist like that to come into my door. That is my psyche. I've opened up my door to let her in to my psyche, into me. So I'm talking about her now. That means she's moved into my energies. She's taken some of my energies, which weren't hers to take, and that's what she does. So that was that. So how do I go forwards with this? You're going to have to sort her out, and that might be totally ignoring her, and that's how. So that's on to the next problem woman. The next problem woman, funnily enough, she lived 3 doors from my friend as well, but in the opposite direction. So I'll try and make this quick. He got me to move his car so that he could put his motorhome back in front of his house, right? So I got in it, and because the street was sort of busy, I parked it further up, obviously 3 doors away. Parked the car, and it wasn't anywhere near MD's driveway, it wasn't anywhere near yellow lines or anything, or any restrictions whatsoever. It was perfectly legally parked. So I'm getting out of the car, and this woman comes round behind the hedge. Can I ask you to move the car? And I'm sort of looking at her, and I'm processing information. Remember, okay, is this really relevant? I've got a diagnosis of autism. I think it maybe is, because it gives you an indication as to how my mind thinks, or how I cope with people, and when they're saying things to me. So I'm sort of looking at her, and she goes, I'm just asking you to move the car. Will you move the car? Now I'm also trying to remember, obviously I wasn't filming at this point, and there wasn't a dash cam on his car. Now this is giving another thing. I really do not like driving or going anywhere without a dash cam for this type of thing, right? So it wasn't my car, so I didn't have a dash cam in it. I think he does, and I don't know if it was on or not. But anyway, I was out of the car, I'd opened the door. So she said, you really have to move the car. And I says, is that a rhetorical question? That's what I said to her. And it was out of context. But I suppose what we really should have said was, is this a multiple choice? Now, maybe people that know me or other people might have thought, hi, you're having a laugh. And of course this woman is Australian, right? So is that getting to do with it? Well, you try to say that Australians don't have a sense of humour? Or women don't have a sense of humour, is that what you're saying? So she kind of stood back. Well, she was standing there looking at me, and I'm looking at her. Bearing in mind, I'm standing in the road with the door open. You know, half sort of out the car, but I didn't shut the door. Because I was actually going to move the car back, you see, initially. When she didn't ask, this is the fundamental problem with this. She didn't ask me, really. Or did she? Or did she use words that made me feel like I was being dominated? Or she was attempting to dominate me? So I says to her, is that a rhetorical question? And she's, oh, I'm just asking you to move your car. I says, and then I never said anything to her after that. I just looked at her and she's looking at me and she folded her arms. She kept talking. She was saying, are you going to move the car? Are you going to move the car? I want you to move the car. Are you going to move the car? About 4 or 5 times. And it was really tense. And I'm staring, I'm looking at her and she's looking at me and she folded her arms. I didn't fold my arms. I'm just looking at her. And it seemed like a long time. It seemed like 3 minutes, but actually it wasn't a long time. And then I thought, what am I going to do? So I thought, there's nothing I can do here. I'll just have to lock the door and walk away. And that's what I did. Just walked away and left her. She was still wanting me to move the car. So it was a very awkward situation because that's 2 people where he lives are arseholes, right? So one, the fundamental thing with me is, and everybody will agree with this, I think, you don't own the street, you know. You don't own the street outside your house. Where I live, there's a street where I live. I cannot tell anyone they can't park outside. Now it turns out this woman's running a business. She's a psychotherapist. So that's why she wanted me to move the car. Now this was Sunday evening. I think it was about 6 o'clock. So it's a moot point, but what sort of business are you running on a Sunday evening? So it is a moot point. Because it's irrelevant really, isn't it? So she's a psychotherapist and that's why she wanted me to move my car, because she has people coming to visit her business that park there. So the reality is, I cannot do that where I live, and you cannot do that where you live. You can think you can do it, you know, it's just courtesy. And I think that a lot of it happened because of this. I'm not going to say it's because she was Australian, I don't even know. It's a bit, well, she's behaving to me, I would say, like a man. You know, and I'm sort of aggressive type. But then maybe that's to do with being from Australia. Because, you know, so that's, right. So, I got a peep from them last week, that's why I waved. Right. Ooh, why? Get over there. Right. So that's kind of basically what's been bugging me. So I got it off my chest, so fuck it. But I don't delete my videos. If I say things that sound stupid or I regret, I tend to just leave them on. I've just got to learn from it. So just, you know, because I'm thinking, oh well, maybe I'm just going on a bit too much about this and it's a bit embarrassing or whatever, because I've let other people affect me. I think I've definitely Mercedes, I think I've definitely affected her, without a doubt. Network Rail Response Unit. Oh, there's a train. So it's dealing with other people's difficult, I would say, not in service. How to cope with them, and I think every weekend there's usually 2 or at least 1 person that's got under my skin. So it's up to me to deal with it. And maybe this is dealing with it, rabbiting on about it, going over it. You know, that's maybe how I deal with it. I think what it actually is it's we are like, well, we're animals, aren't we? We're just creatures. Kalina, that's Eddie Staubat. Well, it was Kalina. Eddie Staubat joined that group. It was, I don't know which way around it is. Yeah, I think Eddie Staubat was part of the Kalina group. It's probably what it is. So I'm just sort of dealing with that stuff. Land Rover Discovery. Why? 5'18". Well, that's quite 25 years old. Yeah, 25 years old, the old disco. Oh, there's McPherson, right, so the technique I used with the second woman was don't talk. Leave them. Now that must have been really hard, it must have been really difficult for her. Don't talk. Now it also kind of transpires the second lady, the one that wanted me to move her car. I parked there about 7 or 8 years ago, and this hadn't clicked on me at that moment yesterday. The police came round to me. Can't remember how they did it. I was actually, I'll tell you how it was, I can remember now. Geo, Amy. I was getting in the car and the police turned up. That was like where it was parked. And this young police officer got out. He looked like he just started. And he was asking me, well, whose car is this or something? It's mine. Oh, well, we've had a phone call. And it's like, oh, aye. So it's like that thing, it's like, it's been abandoned. But I was at college, I was at university that time. That was when I was at Stirling University. I was at Forth Valley College, I can't remember exactly. It was probably Forth Valley College at that particular time. And so that was that same woman that phoned the police because my car was parked there. And the police, it's like, well, there's no crime being committed, is there? I mean, I don't know how that works. You know, I'm not sure how that works. I would contest that very strongly, actually. That it's actually bullying and harassment. So there's a potential bullying and harassment scenario coming on there. You know, so the problem is, that's been sitting around somewhere. You know, so it's like, I was talking about it last night. I was talking about how the activists try to stop the Faroese from killing whales, pilot whales, and they actually, the Faroese continued killing them, and it was because they were being told not to by these activists. So this Faroese guy says, look, this would have died out. He says, we wouldn't have bothered doing this. We wouldn't have bothered if it wasn't for you activists. And it's just that thing. So because I've been told to move my car, and there's such a big deal about it, am I going to go and deliberately park there now? But the actual fact is, I'm well within my rights to do so. It's a public road, there's no restrictions on it. My car's perfectly legal, it's taxed, it's MOT'd, it's insured. So there's not really much can be done about it from her point of view. So this is how you deal with people. So this woman's modus operandi, whether men or women, she probably had me down as a man, I would imagine, yeah. The going through the gender change, it can change things. You might think, well, why? But it does change it. Quite a nice motorhome there. It does change things subtly, and so you're trying to work out. So what I'm trying to do here is an analogy between, you know, human beings and animals, the animal kingdom. So human beings connect. It's Graham's butter. They connect and they say things that. So as I said yesterday when I was on the way home in the van, what you say can be taken down and used against you. So in that scenario, the second scenario, I didn't say anything, and I think that was fantastic, and I'm so proud of myself, even though I did say, is that a rhetorical question initially. That's what I said. So okay, I think we've covered that quite a bit. I think we've covered it. So what part of sort of why I do these videos is I quite like the juxtaposition of me talking about something entirely unconnected to what you're looking at. I think is probably why I do it, partly. Or I don't even know if I've consciously really thought about it that much. Come on, fucking speed up. You know, is that why? Why's this got... Oh, aye. I think that's probably part of it. So that's 25 minutes. Alright, we're gonna have to go. We're gonna walk around and go that way down the path, and that's it. So don't let people bully you, and if you don't think you can beat them verbally, just shut it, you know, just keep it quiet. Don't say anything. It's what works for me in that situation. So Jaguar. In that scenario, just kept it quiet, shut it, and let the opposition squirm, because it is a battle you're getting in. You're getting involved in a battle, for sure. There's no doubt about it. Oh, aye, what's that? Fucking, that doesn't look too bad, to be fair, but I think it's one of these electric fucking things, isn't it? So let them squirm. Let them be dominant with their arms folded. Let them do it. And sadly, I didn't have my phone with me at that moment. It was in the other vehicle. I wasn't able to film her, which is probably a good idea because she lives 3 doors away from you. So we're really what I've talked about is 2 examples I've talked about of extremely bolshy women, you know, or, well, you'd say they're rude women. Is that what they are? Is it really something as simple as that? Rude, just being rude or overbearing. Well, they're not narcissistic, yeah, and they're both sort of like not exactly young anymore, so they don't have their looks to fall back on. They both look fucked up and washed up. So sadly, I can't really go anywhere, pretty much. This is the modern world we live in, without the protection of the equipment. It's quite sad that it does stop that sort of thing from happening. Unless you do get a complete numpty, yeah, you do get complete numpties who, well, some of them are just a bit thick, or some of them aren't really aware of the power of this device, that this could be put on the internet and could be viewed by thousands of people. I think that's really the issue. So are you going to go back the way you came, or nah? No, I think we just could do, actually. I'm gonna have to get going because it's nearly half an hour, the video. Yeah, but we'll go back the way we came, fuck it, yeah. Let's do that. Let's walk around in a big circle. Yeah. Makes it interesting, more interesting. So if you look back at my videos, a lot of my Monday morning videos are moaning about people I've met, and it after 2 or 3 days it'll wear off and I won't care. I won't give a shite. It's normally how it works. Right, it's just like that. So back to the animal kingdom with the bears. The bears remember you and everything. You know, they sort of, if they've got a bad experience with you or something, they'll remember. So that's the same as us humans, we do that as well. And if you can't learn from what's happened, then you have to, you know, you can't keep making the same mistakes all the time, you know. Wow. You can't keep making the same mistakes, is what I'm saying. Aye. You cannot keep making the same mistakes over and over again. So treat people equally, give them the equilibrium they deserve, and you know, and then things will be fine. Because we've all got to pay somehow. We've got to pay for our misdemeanours against God, really. But whoever you think that is, or whatever entity that is, it's not necessarily. So now what happens here is I can't fucking find. I think it's difficult to find the way. Is it this one? Oh, I know how to do it. There's actually a dip, right? There's a dip in the road to find it. It's not this bit here. So I've fucking lost it. Yes. It is tricky coming this way actually. So it all looks pretty much the same. There's it there. There's the dip there. There, see it? That's how I know where it is. Right there. This bit. Right? Right there. That's where you come up. We've got tins we could be collecting there. So we'll just pop away back where we came from. Right here. Which you'd be thinking, oh that's actually really difficult. I'll show you in a minute. Gilchrist. So there it is there. Hold on. I'll wait till the traffic's in first. I don't know if it does anybody any good. I think Uncle Jammer talks his videos. He talks about being bullied and his dealing with people and everything, and I think there is sort of similarities. You know, myself. How I cope. And well, as a male, it's extremely hard to cope with people. Because women, I think, can be they're more entitled now to bully men, and that's what we seen yesterday. So like, don't engage. Don't. That's the way forwards. Don't engage. Stay quiet. Keep your mouth shut. Let them get on with it. And let them make fools of themselves. Don't go anywhere without your phone. Sad, but true. It's just it's sad that's the case. So we're going to go back. I don't know if you do get in from this. I'm sort of doubting whether I should have even gone on about these things. I feel like I'm exposing my weaknesses to these people, that they might watch this, and then they might it might make it worse. You know, whatever. What do you mean? The situation between me and them. The ramifications for that, and for my friend because he lives near them, but he's well capable of sorting them. But to be fair, one of the sort of difficulties they've got is, well, we've got see, I don't believe there's too much things just having too many vehicles. I mean, you're perfectly entitled to have as many as you like, but you have to park them somewhere. And I think that's also part of this, is that it's time they got somewhere. That's what I've got. I've got somewhere with a big huge drive, and I don't have to argue with anyone. So the other scenario where somebody invaded my equilibrium was this neighbour, and he came round manipulating. And what he was doing is he was manipulating me as he was walking towards me. Well, he was attempting to. And what I did was I totally ignored him. Do you know it's actually really hard? If somebody... There was a freaking little thing there. Yeah. There was a... there was... He sort of was doing his manipulative tactics. And it's, so how did I know that? Well, because he's manipulated me before. Every time he spoke to me. So I said, now I'm not engaging with him. So if he wants, the only way forward for him would be a solicitor, but the problem is he's a tight bastard. You go to solicitors, I don't know how much it is, but you're looking at probably what, 80, 90, 100 quid just to send a basic letter to somebody. So, you know, that's really where we are. You've got a problem, get your solicitor right to me. You know, because you've blown your privilege. You've overstepped the mark, and you haven't realised that you cannot go around bullying people like that and get away with it. I find that amazing, that tree sitting there like that. Yeah. We've got time to go down here. Oh! Oh, look at that stick. It's quite low, isn't it, the water, eh? This is a bannock burn, people. The bannock burn. Look at that. So nature keeps doing what nature does. Right, there's signs of a wall or something there. See there? Right, okay. So this would have all been probably trimmed back. Yeah, so nature's taken over. Right, okay, very good. Time to move on. Nature has taken back, and as it always does. So we've got dealing with people, and yeah. I mean, I never learned how to deal with people. I mean, a lot of us probably weren't, you know. It's supposed to be instinctive. But I mean, I'm a bit fed up with people constantly going on about autism all the time, because it was on the news this morning, and it's coming to the point where parents are having their children diagnosed with autism, and I think we should stop all that. But anyway, I got diagnosed with that, and what it really says is there's a processing difficulty, processing information, and there's a problem with a filter. So I'm more than likely to say, you could have a good laugh with me actually if you were that way inclined, because I'm more likely to say something that other people are thinking and say it. And right, so because the two people that annoyed me were women, they are used to dominating men and getting what they want, and it's worked for them, say for 40 or 50 years. Obviously I don't know how she dominated Tommy Robinson, but it certainly wasn't for his benefit, was it? I mean, it is quite interesting, yeah, that she was. I believe in freedom of speech, and I believe Tommy Robinson should not be in jail, for without a doubt. I think this is all problematic when you lock people up for things that they say. It's really difficult because you can take it totally out of context. So many things I've said I could be locked up for 3, 4, 5 or 6 years. And people say appalling things on the internet. I mean, you can say things verbally. So we're back to being careful what you say. And I mean, Tommy Robinson became, you know, well, he got done for contempt of court. So that's, you know, I sort of get that. And he got hammered because he put Silenced, I never watched it, out. He certainly should be released. He should never have been punished the way he has been, or is being punished. But do I agree with him? I don't think so. I think he's barking up the wrong tree. And he comes from Luton, and he's lived in the same place as that woman. You've got to learn to fucking behave, right? Learn to behave. Civilised society. You know? He should have went and got himself, carried on with his building company or whatever the fuck it was he was doing. Anyway, for what it's worth, it's worthless. Because what I think about him or what he's doing is irrelevant. But he certainly should be released from jail. There's no doubt about that. So, thanks for watching, people. Please like, share and subscribe. And bye. Bye.